We here in crypto stand at the brink of what appears to be a massive leg up that's upcoming, that feels imminent in the form of a bull market, the exact timing of which we can't, quite predict, but it is coming. And one of the best ways to capitalize on the upcoming bull market is to position yourself accordingly with the right RWA projects, real-world assets. This is a sector that, for all kinds of reasons that we're going to be discussing, is just blowing up in crypto. It's one of the hottest narratives along with DePIN and AI, artificial intelligence, DePIN being decentralized physical infrastructure networks. I'm not just saying this, right? You have some very concrete real-world examples. For instance, BlackRock invested into RWAs, and they're dipping their toes into the crypto RWA space. Of course, they are one of the largest investment firms in the world. They launched their BUIDL fund earlier this year. That's BUIDL, BlackRock USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund, which already has a treasury worth over $500 million. And I'm going to say it one more time, just in case you've missed it previously. This is a stat that I've been quoting quite a lot, but it's an important one, and it's very significant. BCG, the Boston Consulting Group, they're projecting that in the year 2030, so just over 5 years from now, you're going to have the RWA market that'll be worth $16 trillion. That'll also be equivalent to 10% of the world's GDP. And we've looked at RWA projects, of course, in the past. I want to put a little bit of a spin on it this time and look specifically at two high-quality altcoins in the space in real-world assets that are also particularly low market cap, meaning the opportunity and the potential for growth here is much higher for the projects we're exploring in this video. Welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie, and this is Altcoin Buzz. Whether it's RWA or something else entirely, if you're in any way occupying the crypto space, you're investing in altcoins, whatever, I wish you well. Just remember that I'm not a financial or investment advisor, and by extension, that means this video is not official financial or investment advice. First of all, let's zoom out just ever so slightly and discuss what RWA is in the first place. We know RWAs, that stands for real world assets, and you bring it on chain by tokenizing it, whatever the asset in question is. So in other words, you make an NFT out of it. For example, you have a couple of advantages in this case. You can tokenize anything from real estate, art, also financial instruments if you want, even T-bills, invoices. But you can also fractionalize the RWA, and this allows more people access to an RWA. For example, real estate, a piece of art. In most cases, you may not be able to own all of it. In fact, in a lot of cases, that's just not a reality. But your budget allows for a fraction of ownership. Easier to own 1%, 10%, 20%, whatever, than 100%. And then there's also the benefit of worldwide access, because once you put the RWAs online, there are no borders anymore. You can trade your assets from the comfort of your chair at home all around the world. So we're going to start off with the first of our two picks today with an examination and a look at Polytrade, ticker TRADE, T-R-A-D-E. This is an active RWA platform. Its team keeps building and adding new features. They're very busy. That's what I like to see for any project. So that's one of the reasons why I have Polytrade on this very select list today. Polytrade has an RWA marketplace, which is currently in its V2.0 version. Their V2.0 marketplace has two verticals: an RWA marketplace and institutional technology. Polytrade also has its own ERC6960 token. Now, this allows, among other things, for the tokenizing of RWAs and the fractionalization of them. In other words, it wraps ERC20, ERC721s, or can also trade, cross-chain bridge, or even leverage RWAs with this token. And the Polytrade RWA marketplace has two different asset categories. Firstly, it has discovery assets. You can explore and buy them in case you like them. This is really where Polytrade works as an aggregator, because it integrates with platforms like Uniswap, Balancer, even OpenSea. It also has assets in discovery on platforms like Goldfinch, Clearpool, or Unicura. And then there are also secondary assets. This is Polytrade's native marketplace. Polytrade lists secondary assets as ERC6960 tokens. There are various protocols with assets in secondary mode, for example, Oris, Tiemens, or Blockbar. When you buy or sell on their marketplace, you earn XP and climb their leaderboard. And as per the site here, we have RWA loot boxes that are also coming soon. So on their marketplace, you have various RWA assets in one location, and the protocol also has various use cases, all kinds of things. For instance, SME financing, that of course stands for small and medium-sized enterprises, and they can have a hard time with liquidity, as you probably know. This can be due to delayed invoice payments or other factors. However, tokenizing these invoices generally provides much easier access to liquidity for these SMEs. Investor opportunities. Individuals and institutions can find unique investment opportunities by contributing to a liquidity pool, for example. You can earn very interesting rewards. And cross-border trade. Smart contracts automate this process. They make it secure, tamper-proof, and greatly reduce fraud risks. The current price of trade, TRADE, sits at just under 51 cents. It's down a little bit on the day, but it's got a very low market cap. This is a micro-cap project. 18.9, just under $19 million is the market cap as I record. And out of a 100 million total supply, 37 million tokens are in circulation, so 37%. That's a little bit lower than I'd like to see, but it's not a catastrophic figure. Its all-time high was $3.03 in just April of this year, a few months ago. If you think about it, we're about a 6x from there. And the fact is, for a project that's doing so many good things, that's occupying such a hot space, I anticipate that it's going to go actually pretty well beyond that all-time high.
And so if this market pulls back hard under this level and then consolidates and comes back, we're likely to sell and stall.
At number 2 here on the list, we're looking at Clearpool. CPOOL is the ticker, CPOOL. This is the next protocol that we're looking at. It is a decentralized credit marketplace. And just like Polytrade, the Clearpool team is very busy. They just seem to keep building. For example, we have Ocean. This is an RWA yield chain on Optimism. We're going to discuss this more in just a moment, but the broader team here for Clearpool does have a traditional finance background. Clearpool offers a DeFi marketplace for unsecured institutional liquidity. This allows institutions to raise short-term capital, and then meanwhile, lenders have access to risk-adjusted returns. Clearpool is also compliant, meaning that there's a KYC, a Know Your Customer procedure to follow. It offers credit vaults and dynamic pools. They have a combined TVL of $66.8 million. There's a risk assessment system in place that determines the interest rates here. Clearpool opens the doors to the credit market, and traditional retail investors have never had access to this previously. There's also Clearpool Prime. This is only available for whitelisted institutions. Borrowers don't need to put down collateral, basically. They can create a pool and invite whitelisted institutions to fund the pool. It has fixed interest rates when the pool deploys. Lenders can only fund a pool to which they've been invited to. This runs on 9 different chains. We have, for instance, Ethereum, Polygon, Avalanche, Optimism, or Base. Now, I mentioned Ocean a moment ago. This launched in late March, and it's the first blockchain for RWA yield built on and supported by Optimism, but built by the Clearpool team. It offers some pretty amazing features, including native yield with USDX. This is a stablecoin used, of course, on their platform. You can lock this for OZUSD, which is yield-bearing. There's an optional compliance layer for projects that requires this. There's also gas abstraction, since everything functions through USDX. This allows you to set up an address from which you can pay gas, or if you want, a dApp can also pay the gas fees. And finally, account abstraction with Ocean's native custodian wallet. This wallet has no transaction fees. However, there is a licensed custodian. That's Hex Trust, who handles everything related to the stablecoin, like native yields. And note that users will be able to earn revenue from sequencer fees. The current price of CPOOL sits right now at 13.26 cents. It's up 14% on the day here as I record, and commands a market cap of just under $80 million. So certainly the larger of the two entries that we're examining today, but still in the micro cap category, still below $100 million total market cap. For CPOOL here, out of the max supply of 1 billion tokens, 604 million are already in circulation. So that's a better percentage there, 60.4%.